Hey fairies, and welcome back to my channel. It's Laurasia Andrea. So in this video we are doing a Halloween glam green goblin makeup look, and I will definitely explain everything that's been happening and what's to come on my health. So if you're interested, then definitely stay tuned.
Let's stay here for a lifetime underneath the moonlight, 'cause I don't want us to go. No, I don't want us to go.
So I know a lot of my IG fairies are freaked the hell out, and this is just my time to explain to you guys what's been going on with me, my health. You guys have seen me in the hospital. You guys just saw my recent post on Instagram. So let me just break it down for you guys real quick. So as far as me posting the F cancer hashtag, it is because I just recently found out that my uncle brother, he is my uncle, but we literally grew up together in Detroit in the same household practically my entire childhood. He has just got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. So I just asked you guys, keep me in your prayers, keep my family in your prayers, because it's about to be a rough next few weeks, okay? Also, your girl has been in the hospital, and this story is going to get a little bit crazy, y'all. Yes, I was in the hospital, and it was because I needed a blood transfusion. And if you guys don't really know what that is, it's basically when you do not have enough red blood cells specifically in your body to keep your oxygen pumping and to stay alive. Now, normally for women, you should have about 12 to 15 red blood cells for your body to pretty much be able to function properly, and your girl only had 5.8. In order for you to properly function, you at least minimum should have about 7, and I had 5.8. And what's so crazy is I was still out here moving and grooving, y'all. I was still out here doing YouTube videos and all that, knowing that I was not properly taking care of myself and my body. I was literally working myself way too much with such little blood in my system, and the doctors have said so many times to me that I could have died last week. Like, that is just so baffling to even hear. The fact that I was literally just living my life like nothing was wrong just a few months ago, and then for doctors to tell me that I could have died last week, that is a very hard pill to swallow, especially when I'm literally just moving through life like it's just whatever to me. Because I was losing so much blood, I did develop a case of anemia, and that's why I got sent to the hospital, because I just could not do it any longer. I couldn't sit up for longer than 30 minutes without having excruciating chronic headaches. I was becoming very weak. I started to lose a lot of weight. You can definitely see that within my face and my neck. Everything started to look a little bit skinny on me, y'all, and y'all know I am a thickums, okay? I couldn't even stand up and leave my house because that's how much my body was hurting. Thank God for HelloFresh, you guys. I actually do have a coupon code for you guys that are interested. If you guys use my code Laurasia14, you can get 14 free meals as well as free shipping on your first order. I can definitely say HelloFresh saved your girl. They came with all the ingredients and the instructions that I needed, and I did not even have to lift a leg to go outside. And then, just for those that are wondering, why the hell did you wait so long to go to the doctor? I have an explanation for that as well. This is just a vulnerable moment, and this is honestly just a life lesson, to be completely real with you guys, because this honestly was definitely unacceptable. I am way too old to even be dealing with something like this. But the reason that I waited so long was, number one, I was just being careless with my health. I'm just going to be honest. I just felt as though like, like I've dealt with going through having my period for more than 1 or 2 months before because, my surgery made me become hormonal imbalance. At least that's what my previous doctor told me before. So I was just assuming that that was the same thing I had this time, and it was just pretty normal. When I started to feel these crazy symptoms that I was feeling before, that's when I definitely knew it was time for me to go to the hospital. But at the time, I did not have health insurance. It's not because I couldn't afford it. It's not because it was a little bit too expensive or anything of that such. It was mainly because I just cut my health insurance off because I just felt like I was just invincible. I just felt like a Greek goddess and just felt like I was unstoppable and untouched to my health. So I just cut my health insurance off because, just immaturely, I felt as though I was paying all this money a year for health insurance and I was never using it. I couldn't withstand the pain anymore and decided to pay out of pocket to pay my new gynecologist a visit. And that's when he told me, this is going to be a very long ride of what's going on with all your symptoms. I highly advise you to get health insurance. I applied for health insurance. I ended up getting it starting October 1st. So I had to get admitted to the hospital because my blood work came back that I was 5.8 in red blood cells. Not only was my blood count at a 5.8 count, but I also had a ultrasound done, a transvaginal ultrasound to be exact, and they did find a tumor in my ovaries. Now, for this all to make sense, I have to give you guys the background story as to how we even got to this point. So the reason that I lost so much blood is because I had my menstrual cycle for about a little over 3 months. My menstrual cycle started July 17th of 2021 and it lasted until October 12th of 2021. When I tell you guys that was the worst time of my freaking life, some people can't even get through having their period for 7 days and I had mine for 3.5 months. Now, this is not my first rodeo of having my period for over 3 months. I've had this experience before when I talked about it in my surgery journey back a year ago on my YouTube channel. And I told you guys in one of my surgery videos that I had my period after I got my surgery for about 3 months. Now, at that time, the gynecologist that I had at the moment said that that was mainly just because I had just undergone super harsh surgery and my hormones were all out of whack and all out of balance because I had just went under the knife. So when I got my period back in July and it lasted until October, I was just assuming that that was the case. Now, my surgery happened extremely too long ago for that to have been the case, but immature Laura just felt as though that was the case instead of going to a doctor to consult with them to get verification. So your girl let it go for over 3 months of excessive bleeding, and it wasn't just regular bleeding. It was like ultra tampon, ultra pad, both doubled up together, changing every 2 hours. So that was where my blood loss started to come in. So when you add up all that time for me bleeding that heavy for 3 months, that is how it came to the point where I lost so much blood and I needed a blood transfusion. I've gone back and forth blaming myself so many times, like, oh my gosh, I feel like this has all happened because I waited too long. Why did I wait this long to go to the doctor? But there was no way for me to know that I initially had PCOS until I went to the doctor to get all my blood work done and have an official diagnosis. So at this point, I officially have PCOS, and where it went wrong was I've had PCOS since technically 2 years ago from my surgery. But the craziest thing is, and this is pretty much how my doctor broke it down for me, the time that I had my period for 3 months after my plastic surgery almost 2 years ago, that was the point that my PCOS had started. So I went almost 2 years without having my PCOS treated, and that's how we ended up here. Sometimes I do have thoughts of like, oh my gosh, is it the reason that I have a tumor now in my ovaries is because I didn't get my PCOS treated for so long? But at this point, I just cannot keep thinking like that because I just cannot afford my mental health to go on a downward spiral. Not everyone has to treat their PCOS, but I am the person person that has to have my PCOS treated because it now developed into anemia. Not only am I diagnosed with PCOS, but I also have to take insulin now moving forward because of how much blood loss that I had. And the results of me losing so much blood has now made my sugar levels rise to the point where I have to take insulin. I am not yet officially a diabetic, thank God, but I do have to start taking insulin to get my sugar levels down. The way the doctors broke it down for me for moving forward is they have to treat one thing at a time. So they cannot go in and take my tumor out of my ovaries until they have officially treated the bleeding and stopped the bleeding. Unfortunately, even though I did have my blood transfusion done, I still am on my menstrual. That has not stopped. Just because I went to go get more blood does not mean that my PCOS has officially been healed or treated. So now today, at this point, I am officially on birth control. Specifically, I am on the depot shot. This is my official last chance that they're going to be able to stop the bleeding. And if not, I have to stay in the hospital. I am honestly praying, you guys, that the depot shot works because I do not, and I repeat, I do not want to be admitted into that hospital again. It's so miserable. It's just so saddening. Like, I honestly just cannot be living my life in the hospital. So at this point, you guys, let's just honestly pray that the depot shot works. I'm also on insulin to get my sugar levels down, and I am also taking iron pills moving forward. I am on a 3-week watch right now. I have to continuously go back to the doctors and get my blood work done every 3 weeks. I am so tired of getting poked and pricked in my arms. It looks like I have been doing drugs, okay, up until this point. But honestly, you guys, this is just a message to all my women, females out there. Please, please, please take care of yourself. I'm not going to sit here and say that I am the blame for me becoming this sick at this moment. I will say I'm also not 100% not to blame, and maybe, just maybe, all of this wouldn't be happening, but only Lord knows. My biggest thing right now is that I am alive. I am still able to make videos for you guys. I am still able to check in with you guys. I feel so much better since my blood transfusion, but we are not out the trenches yet. They're just at this point crossing their fingers that I do not have to keep going back to the hospital or fainting or anything of that such of me losing too much blood. So just honestly, you guys, at this point, just keep me in your prayers. Like I said, keep my family in your prayers, and we are going to get through this, okay? I am not done yet. I am not done. Thank you guys so much for watching. Can't wait to see you guys in my next one, and bye guys.
I'm sorry for the burden, sorry I was hurting, but my scars are almost healed. Yeah, my scars are almost healed. Yeah, I'm feeling like a child now, everything's alright now, and it's all because of you. You made the flower in me bloom.